Hi, my name is Luyanda Unati Lewis-Nyawo, and I play Sheriff Santiago in Wednesday on Netflix. And this is Pop Culture with Pat.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Hey guys, welcome back to Pop Culture with Pat. I'm so excited to be joined by today's guests. Today I'm talking to Luyanda Unati Lewis-Nyawo, who plays Sheriff Santiago in Wednesday. Thank you so much for your time today, Luyanda.
Thank you so much. Hey, you got it all right. It's a mouthful.
No, it's fine. Yeah, well, first off, super excited to have you on. I'm going to give people a heads up that there will be spoilers here for at least part one of Wednesday season part two. So just want to make sure that you guys are aware of that. But yeah, to start things off, what was it like, or how did it feel for you returning for season two, where the scope here with season two is much bigger than season one? You're stepping into a new role with your character. So what did that kind of feel like in general?
I mean, generally, it just felt like a lot of responsibility because the show had done so brilliantly, and there was such like a ferocious love for it from the fans. So I really just wanted to make sure that I was doing that judge justice and making sure that I was delivering, so that the experience could be just as pleasurable for everyone. But also, like personally, it was really exciting, like such a dream come true. Um first of all, I was completely sort of blindsided by the news. I had no idea it was kind of happening until I did, and that just felt like, completely exhilarating. I had such an incredible time getting back on the set, and coming into a new city to shoot as well, which is really, really exciting. Dublin is a fantastic city, and the Irish are fantastic people. So it was really, really exciting to step back into Santiago's shoes in this way.
It's pretty cool too, because you guys obviously, yeah, you're shooting it in Dublin, but the Nevermore, it's in Vermont, or
Yeah.
Jericho, Vermont. And I was just up in Jericho, Vermont, like about a month ago.
Yeah.
Tiny little town. So I was like, I saw a sign, I had to take a picture of it. I was like, oh, that's where Nevermore Academy is.
Absolutely. Like I think it's like movie TV magic is wild how you can kind of shoot for locations in completely different areas of the world. That's always so exciting. I'd love to visit Vermont someday because it sounds so quaint and magical, especially
Yeah.
during the fall. So
Oh,
that would
yeah.
be like bucket list of mine to go and see all those trees turn in color.
Yeah, we have
Um,
beautiful foliage out here for sure.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And what was your
Um,
reaction too for coming back for, or not only just coming back in general, but returning as a series regular for season two as well?
It was exciting and equally stressful because again it's like more responsibility, and but also like obviously I felt ready for it and I felt like I could deliver, but yeah, it was again just a dream come true. I think working with Tim and getting to work with Jenna, Steve, Catherine, and now finally the cat's out of the bag, with Gwendolyn.
Yeah.
Had a secret was hard work. um, but it was just such a dream come true to get to work with people that I have admired for so long. So I was really just honored and really humbled, to and grateful to be at this point in my career where sort of like clawing my way up the industry ladder has reaped some fruits at this stage that feels really good.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have an absolutely stacked cast for Wednesday. It's no doubt about that. And yeah, we just had the season two, the official trailer for part two come out today. So I think that was perfect
Yeah.
timing as far as this goes. And how did you want to approach the transition from deputy to sheriff?
I think for the transition from deputy to sheriff, I just some time had passed quite literally in between the shooting of the show and then also in story time as well. So I just wanted to portray a Santiago that really has found their footing in their job, and has found who they are as a sheriff of this town, and who they are in juxtaposition to who Gulpin was. I think I just really wanted to differentiate this sheriff's department as a sheriff's department that is willing to work with Wednesday and potentially sometimes the Addams, rather than constantly continually buffeting them off, because Santiago doesn't really have the same sort of history of trauma that Galpin had with this particular family, like shared trauma with this family. So she doesn't need to necessarily draw on that. The only thing that's important is keeping Jericho safe and everyone in it, regardless of whether they're outcasts or normies.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, it's pressure enough being taking over, becoming the sheriff of this town, but then having the extra pressure of being a normie and having to deal with these outcasts, these people with supernatural abilities. How
Yeah.
does Santiago? How do they handle that?
I mean, I mean, like Santiago's constantly wondering why they've brought a gun to a superpower fight, like all the time, constantly. But I guess they just kind of see it as that they have a job to do, and for the most part, outside of like the adults that get involved, it's the few adults that tend to get involved. These are minors; they're children. So as capable, as talented, as unique and special and powerful as they are, um, you know, at the end of the day, it is Santiago's job to take care of them, regardless of whether they are outcasts or not. So even as they're shooting fireballs at her or yeeting logs at her, she's gonna do her job and maintain safety for everyone involved.
Yeah, but no doubt it's definitely a lot of pressure. I say compared to
A
some other places.
lot of pressure and a lot of having to be creative and sometimes
Yeah.
having to make decisions about when to intervene and when to take a step back.
Yep. Also just thinking outside the box too. It's not, you're
Totally.
dealing with individuals that it's not your normal individuals that you might deal with on a day-to-day base. So I think there's definitely some thinking outside the box. And like you said, working with I was gonna say working with Jenna, but working with Wednesday and the Addams family,
Yeah.
deciding when to do that and when maybe to step back, like you said.
Because ultimately, illegal's illegal. It doesn't matter whether you broke the fireball or whether you broke into, but like illegal's illegal. Like
Yeah.
breaking the law is breaking is breaking the law. So that's sort of the sort of um touchstone that Santiago is using to sort of make decisions.
And speaking of Jenna Ortega, can you talk about now getting to work with her with 2 seasons and just getting to see her transform into this character on set?
I mean, she's incredible. She's just got this razor sharp focus. And it's something to watch, her having been on sets for so much of her life. I think that there was a lot to learn from her because I was coming from a sort of theater background. So I was having to observe a lot and pick up what I was doing on the job, right? So I think that she's an absolute talent, and I think she really brings a virtuosity to Wednesday that the character really needs to even land with an audience. So it's a testament to her skill
Yeah, I mean,
ultimately.
I
Yeah.
remember when the show was coming out, when she very first got cast, and obviously, no, for me at least, like growing up, my Wednesday Addams was Christina Ricci. That was the one
Yes,
that
yeah,
I
same as
remember, and I feel like a lot of people recognize. And so I'm sure there was a little bit of intimidation. I feel like I've seen Jenna like talk about that too, taking over the role, but she really kind of stepped in and made it her own.
no, she really did. I think that there was just, and like I say, I would come back to her level of focus again. I remember her, always having her earphones in, really, like really, or even in the tent in between takes and in between setups, just really always practicing something like working on a cello piece while we were waiting or doing something related to it. I don't think there were very few moments where I saw her at rest on set, because there's just so much for her to have to get a handle on. And I think she really handled it with like real professionalism and grace.
And what was it like to explore that relationship and dynamic between Wednesday and Santiago and Wednesday season two?
It was really really fun. I think it's sometimes quite fun to play up against an obstacle because that's what Wednesday is for Santiago, is very much an obstacle, and regardless of how many ministrations she can make towards her to sort of go, let's work together. It's the ball is ultimately in Wednesday's court. So I think that that relationship is one that frustrates Santiago more than anything else, but it's one that has to be mined.
And can you talk about, you mentioned it a little bit previously, but just getting to step back into the world of Tim Burton with Wednesday season two? Imagine you must have had a blast.
It was incredible. I mean, I remember the first day when we came in to do the big sort of announcement that we were back, cast photo, and just walking on that set, like just walking through the sound stages and seeing all of the design elements is just phenomenal. And Tim, Al, and Miles, and then this like greater team of creatives, set designers, costume designers, just the scale of it. You like there's over 800 members of crew. Like it's crazy, just like everybody just doing their own part. So I think it was such a gift to see so many gifted artisans in whatever capacity working on something to bring something working on their specific parts to bring something so detailed to life. And having that helmed by Tim Burton was a joy. He's a wonderful artist to work with on set.
The guy's a legend. I got to work with him actually a couple of years ago on Beetlejuice when they were filming
Hey.
up in Vermont. And I didn't get like an immediate interaction with him, but he came over and was kind of we were shooting in front of the old Maitland store from the first film. And,
Yeah.
just having Jenna and stuff talking like that. But yeah, I mean, the guy seems like an incredibly down to earth and nice guy. And yeah, I mean, as a Tim Burton fan watching this season too, I was so happy to see that stop motion piece that he created for
Absolutely,
this season.
absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm so glad that that element of Tim's work returned, because it's really so good.
Oh yeah, 100%. What do you have as far as I guess that you can talk about in this first part, do you have a favorite set piece of like working on in this first part of the season that you loved being on or the
I
most?
loved working outside of Willow Hill. That was really, really great. That school, that building is really creepy. There's all these like little nooks and crannies that were really creepy around it. But I just think that like that building, they really, really transformed it into something quite magical, and I really loved working there.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a fun area to explore, at least like in the first couple episodes that we've gotten so far. And for you too,
Yeah.
like what makes as far as Tim goes, what makes him stand out for you personally as a director? Because obviously you've gotten to work with different people so far up to this point in your career. So what makes him stand out?
I think it's his attention to detail, and it's just his energy on set. He's always fine tuning something. He's always looking at the specifics and the details of a moment, which is really, really exciting. He makes the space feel really creative and collaborative from the jump. So I really enjoyed that working with him.
And as far as for this first part too, what scene were you most excited to see translate from the script to actually when you guys were shooting it and seeing the final product?
Again, Willow Hill when Jenna's yeeted out of the window. That was so much fun to do. And like it took so many takes from so many different angles, and there were so many moving parts. Because I remember when we were shooting it, the sort of one of the obviously we don't have a monster jumping out of a window, but the car next to us was set to like get crushed by these internal cylinders that would like compress it.
Yeah.
Like taking those shots and sort of like and reacting to those kinds of things in situ, and then seeing all of the rest of it that was meant to be there, all these other layers was really, really exciting. Or I really was exciting to see that all come together.
Yeah, did they have as far as Wednesday getting shot out the window, was that I'm assuming obviously like a stunt double and like using wire work and stuff like that to get blasted out or
I don't think I was on set when they did the actual blasting out. I think they might have shot because eventually you get wrapped because that was all night shoots, and I was glad to go home at like
yeah.
4 or 5 a.m. in the morning. um, but yeah, I think
I'm assuming it
no,
probably
I think they might have done that earlier in like earlier in the day with the pickups with I think Jenna Stump Double, if I remember correctly, is also South African. And I think she would have done that earlier.
yeah, so that I imagine they probably would have done something like that where it's a rig work or wire work or something like that. But and as far as for just like the show like in general, is there any of the other characters that you would personally like to see Santiago maybe get some more screen time, some more interactions with, I guess just in general?
I didn't get any interaction with Grandmama, and I would love to choose some furniture with Joanna Lumley. I think that would be a lot of fun. I think that
Oh,
would be a lot of fun. I'd love to see a Santiago sort of poking into this family and unearthing all these little bits and having to put them together. And I'd love to do some more with Joanna Lumley. That'd be great.
Oh yeah, that would be great. I mean, just interaction with the Addams family in general. I think, yeah, like you
I
said,
think in
just
general,
explore.
yeah. I would love that. I would love to get to interact with all of them. I think they're
Yeah,
all great. Yeah.
fingers crossed. Let's make it happen. And we just got the trailer for it, so I know obviously you probably can't say too much, but what can you kind of tease in general for the part two that's going to be coming out in September?
In general,
It looks insane.
it's insane. It's going to be great. I think that there's a lot to be excited for. I know that sometimes there can be a little bit of a fatigue when a show is split into two parts, but I think it's absolutely worth the wait. And I really wish I could say everything, but I really can't. And like I'm just buckle up. I'm just excited for everyone to actually see what comes next. Cause yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna
Yeah.
be great.
I mean, we'll just have to have you back on, to discuss the spoilers once everything is all
Once
out in
everything
general.
is done, then we can do a deep dive. We can
Yeah.
break it down. We can unpack it. That's fine.
Oh yeah, no. And
Until then, my lips are sealed.
for me personally too, as far as like I don't mind the splitting up because I know like for me with this show, I'm also a big Stranger Things fan that
Yeah.
honestly I love it because we get to spend, don't get me wrong, I love the streaming and like binging stuff sometimes, but when you get to break it down and kind of sit with it for a little bit, in this case, a couple weeks to like a month, enjoy that first part, and then you get to experience that second part. And you can also have discussions with fans and things like that. So I actually really enjoy how they split up the stuff like this, even though you want to see what's happening next, of course.
Yeah, no, absolutely for sure. I think like I personally enjoy it. I miss the days of a weekly release, but
Yeah.
maybe that's just make me showing my age.
No,
The days of like running through the house, jumping over the couch to try and make the show on time and get to the channel.
yeah. No, I'm right there with you. It was the same thing growing up, but it honestly kind of seems like from what I've seen, and I could be wrong, but it seems like Netflix, the different streamers, some of them seem to be kind of going back to that weekly release schedule.
Yeah,
So that's kind of
I
nice.
think so. It could be a possibility. I think some shows benefit from it, and then some shows benefit from the bingeability of it all.
Yeah,
So it's about picking you're picking and choosing your delivery method, I guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, and then just
And
to
with
just
streaming and stuff, the possibilities are endless.
oh yeah, for sure. And just to wrap things up for you, is there anything else that you would to say? Do you have anything else coming up for you in your career that you can talk about? Because I know not everything that you can mention at the moment, probably. And then just where can fans stay up to date with you moving forward?
There is nothing that is not under NDA at the minute.
Fair enough.
So I was just scanning my brain. Nothing not under NDA. And then where people can find me, you can find me in one place at Instagram that under my full name, Luyanda Unati Lewis-Nyawo, all lowercase. That's where I hang about.
Perfect. Well, I will make sure to put that down below in the description. That way people can give you a follow. Can't wait for Wednesday season two, part two. And Melinda, you are about welcome back anytime in the future.
Thank you so much, Pat. That would be great. Hi, my name is Luyanda Unati Lewis-Nyawo, and I play Sheriff Santiago in Wednesday on Netflix. And this is Pop Culture with Pat.